Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to the Unexplored Capital Wasteland. Today we'll be checking out the Tepid Sewers, which is a location in Vault 3 many of you might be familiar with because it's a part of the quest, the Wasteland Survival Guide. Very early on in that quest, Moira Brown will send us here in order to kill mole rats, or not initially kill, but to attack mole rats with her mole rat repellent stick. However, her repellent stick doesn't really work, as we will see in this video. So obviously this location features a plethora of mole rats along with a gang of raiders. So let's waste no more time and let's check out Tepid Sewers. Now Tepid Sewers is located just east of Wilhelm's Wharf and just east of the Anchorage War Memorial, kind of right in the middle of Washington, D.C. Now as we approach inside, we will immediately find a pack of mole rats to our right, in which case we can use our repellent stick in order to get rid of them. Now initially the repellent stick is supposed to just kind of deter or make them run away, but instead their fucking heads blow off. So, not really how it's supposed to work, but it actually is pretty effective, at least against mole rats, because it, kills them pretty easily. Not that mole rats are a particularly threatening animal within Fallout. But after you hit a few mole rats with the repellent stick, you will complete the quest's main objective. Now there is a side objective, and you just have to hit more mole rats with the stick. Pretty easy. Now there is a turret here which we can hack, which will make our lives a lot easier when fighting these raiders. Also be aware there is a gas leak down here, so if you use any kind of traditional weapon or a laser weapon, it will ignite a fire like you saw. But there will be a lot of mole rats down here and also some raiders, so just be on the lookout. You should have no problem completing the quest's optional objective down here in the sewers. As you make your way through, you might find some mole rats that are already dead. We can assume they were killed by the raiders. Now, eventually it opens up into this train tunnel, and you're going to have to fight Rocksalt, who appears to be the leader of this gang of raiders. Now, there is a plethora of mines in here, so do be careful, but it also means that we can get some easy XP and easy money if you just sell them. Then on Rocksalt, we can find his key. Definitely make sure you take that because it can get you some good loot later on. Now in the train tunnel, you're going to find this kind of side area where there'll be some raiders hanging out. You're going to find this room with what appears to be some kind of large boiler, and kind of tucked away behind it is a copy of Dean's Electronics. This is really well hidden. It took me a little bit to figure out exactly where it was, but yeah, once it's there, it's there. Then inside of this bedroom area, there is a safe on the floor. It's to my left there when I was looting. I completely missed the safe, but guess what? You don't have to, because now you know it's in there. Then, as we make our way up, just make sure you disarm these mines, don't get yourself killed like I almost did, and just take them with you for some extra money. And eventually we can come up here to the northern end of the train tunnel ends, and we can head back into the Tepid Sewers, where we will find more mole rats. So there you go, more mole rats for the Wasteland Survival Guide. Now inside of this room where the mole rats and raiders are fighting one another is where we can find Rocksalt's little safe or vault, whatever you want to call it. Now we can either use the key or hack the terminal. I went ahead and hacked the terminal because I actually really enjoy hacking in Fallout, and also it's free XP. Inside of this room, in this kind of wooden crate here that has burned books, at the very bottom, which you have to kind of take out the burned books, we can find a pre-war book, so pretty good find. And then also we can just find Rocksalt's little stash here. He has some grenades, and also this personal footlocker with ammunition, some bottle caps, and a power fist. So there you go. Then as we make our way further through, we will find more and more mole rats, and eventually we'll find this kind of workbench and a bottle cap mine underneath it, so make sure you take that. And then continuing our way through, we'll just find some kind of junk and random loot, and eventually it opens up into this train station, and now we can leave to Georgetown West, where I was, ambushed, obviously, by a group of Talon Company mercs. When are these bastards not ambushing me? Anyways, I went ahead and killed all of them. They also got into a fight with some super mutants, and outside of the station here of Georgetown West, we can find this large kind of destroyed building that has some very interesting loot inside of it. Of course, there are normally super mutants in here. Thankfully, a lot of the super mutants died fighting the Talon Company, which made my life a lot easier. And then up here on the second floor of this decrepit building, we can find some ammunition boxes, some chems such as Psycho, also a copy of Grognak the Barbarian, a Stealth Boy, and a ton of baseballs. That's pretty good for the rocket launcher, but a ton of baseballs. I just thought that was really cool. Don't know why. I like baseballs, so there it is. Now, going back to Moira Brown, we will have some interesting dialogue options, especially if you've completed the optional objective, which is to test it out on more mole rats. She will actually let you keep the repellent stick, so you can use it to kill mole rats, even though mole rats aren't very difficult, but something you can add to your collection. If you don't complete the optional objective, don't worry, because you can actually still buy the repellent stick from her. It'll be in her inventory. You can just buy it from her. And if you have a high enough intelligence or endurance, you will have some unique dialogue options when talking to Moira. As you can see there, I used my intelligence to kind of guess maybe what went wrong with the repellent stick, because it didn't work as intended. She also talks about maybe mole rats could be domesticated. Of course, there are instances of mole rats being domesticated in Fallout 3 and in Fallout New Vegas. So, you know, she is onto something, even if she doesn't realize it yet. And there you have it, the Tepid Sewers. Of course, this is a very important location for the Wasteland Survival Guide. As you level up in Fallout 3, it becomes increasingly difficult to find mole rats because the game starts spawning more difficult enemies. So this location always provides you with a good source of mole rats, regardless of your level. If you're a high level, this location is really easy, and if you're a low level, it's very approachable. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any recommendations or ideas for future videos, future locations in Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, or Fallout 4, please let me know in the comment section below. And as always, until next time.